Now, people, the moment you have all been waiting for.
Shooting, bludgeoning, stabbing, poisoning. Is there anything those two wouldn't do?
Show me your hands!
We're talking about attempted murder of a police officer.
What do you think this is, a game?
Mine eye, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
My name is Don Juan Di Marco. I am the world's greatest lover.
The world is inhabited by very strange creatures.
You don't get to choose your obsessions. They choose you.
They're faster than speeding bullets.
3 strikes and you're out.
Everything that I loved about that book seemed to come to life on the big screen.
The right of self-expression, the right to put your thoughts into words, help define us as people.
Hello there, I'm Kim Clark-Chedness.
And I am Rachel Harry. Welcome to The Word This Week.
You wanna have fun?
A new phenomenon has cropped up.
By no means is it a cautionary tale.
What it is enlightened versus the unenlightened.
The Word This Week takes a fresh look at the latest in literary news, issues, and views.
But it is a really violent, some would say vile, some would say gratuitous book.
Every statement I make today is backed up by sources.
$69, a very appropriate price.
Our audience is anybody who's really interested in kind of the bleeding edge of culture.
The right of self-expression, the right to put your thoughts into words, help define us as people.
That's going down.
So are you guys Musketeers or what?
We are. I am Porthos.
I am Athos.
Isn't there a third?
We're looking for him.
It's important that we have an informed discussion in the population.
If we don't act, we're going to have projections that are so catastrophic.
The Word This Week takes a look at the people and the stories that write the world today.
Fiction's so much more interesting to me.
Many people, their lives are defined by it.
How was it reliving that?
So sweet.
I felt that the fans would love to hear what I had to say.
Well, I think everyone appreciates beauty.
1/7 of humanity cannot read or write.
The whole idea of the book was to revisit that.
He was a genius because of the number of things he invented.
The Word This Week is written, spoken, and wired.
Writing books is so enjoyable that I hardly regard it as work.
I do think he's right up there with the great ones.
This is the most fantastic book I've ever read.
People know when they come to the site that we're not saying nice things most of the time.
It's part of the game.
I would like to think that it's a book for anyone with a real interest in popular culture of the last 50 years.
But they're going to cost you a few bucks, I'm afraid.
Tune into Canada's only literary news program.
See you next week.
On The Word This Week.
Stephen King, on behalf of the Canadian Booksellers Association, I am pleased to present you the Canadian Booksellers Association Libris Award for Lifetime Achievement.
You say to yourself, I did the best that I could, and I think that that's important for a writer.
What would you say is sort of the cornerstone of your fiction?
I just like to make up. To the Bat Pulse.
It's Batman! There's only one man who can handle this.
Get set for the big one.
Let's fight our way out of this.
There's no room for another man in my life, Mr. Wayne. My heart belongs to Batman.
We're talking about attempted murder of a police officer.
2,453 blocks. Get an ambulance down.
I'm taking you and your whole damn down! Do you hear me?
Chief Mannion, we've all heard talk of this mysterious new system of yours. What is it?
matter. Either way, you make the wrong move, I'm gonna get you.
I began as a drunkard and ended as a child.
In the winter of 1981, filmmaker Ron Mann began working on his critically acclaimed documentary, Poetry in Motion.
For me, it was like the door into what writing was about.
In the end, they'd filmed more than 75 poets.
A ribbon, a revolver.
He took a part of me. He took me apart.
I wasn't into poetry. I thought that was kind of sissy stuff.
A quarter of a century later, Poetry in Motion 25 shares some of this historic footage.
What does it take to build the career of a lifetime?
It all starts by having a job that you love.
And you can find the work you love and build the life that you want at the 2006 Canada Career Week Fair. This year's fair has over 170 exhibitors and hands-on displays from employers like Edmonton Transit, Edmonton Fire and Rescue, the Edmonton Police Service, and many more. You may be surprised at the number of career options you'll discover. They'll even have a race car display, as well as demonstrations by Skills Canada. All industries of the economy will be represented: health and environment, tourism, construction, military, post-secondary education, and many others.
Build the life you want, find the work you love.
And the job market is hot. Employers will have job postings outlining employment opportunities. Don't miss the 2006 Canada Career Week Fair, November 17th and 18th at the Edmonton Northland Sportex. And hey, admission and parking are free.
You know, there's that saying that a problem well identified is a problem half solved. And I believe that everybody can describe the student, the environment, the tasks. And then they can seek assistance if they need assistance with those tools. I really believe that once you've looked at student environment and tasks well and really just talked about it and gathered that information from a variety of sources and individuals and perhaps records or what's happened before, that you can say, we think this is what this looks like. And so I have great faith in people's ability to do that piece.
Well, usually they're the student who never wants to read in class. I always ask for volunteers. And the student who doesn't volunteer is the one who, you know, is very shy about reading and doesn't want to read in the class.
It was really hard because, like, in class our teacher would say, okay, each person you're going to take a turn to read. And I'd say, oh, I don't really want to because I wouldn't know some of the words or I'd stutter.
I knew before he even entered school, and I'd held him back a year, and then, you know, we were very proactive in trying to always, you know, get him the best help possible. But then the transition between elementary and junior high, he kind of fell between the cracks, and that was the grade 7 year I'm talking about. So that was kind of a lost year. And then when I found this school, and with the initiatives and the learning tools, these learning tools that they're using, I could see a big difference in his confidence.
Even math. People like to think math is just numbers, but it isn't. There's a lot of problems with understanding the word problems and vocabulary associated with it.
What we know is that the way a disability of a certain category is manifested in an individual may be very different from person to person. So it's critical when we start thinking about assistive technology that will assist a person with a specific disability, that we think, how does that disability manifest itself functionally within this individual? What is it that's difficult or impossible for this person to do? And so the best way to think about that is just put the disability category sort of in the background and the functional needs in the foreground. The goal would be to make sure that the supports and services that students need in order to succeed are actually made available to them.
The current place where I am in the market right now is I'm a paperback writer. Dorchester publishes to 400 pages in paperback, and that is their niche. That's what they do. I'm with Dorchester right now, so that's what I do. The paperback market it's an interesting one because a lot of people buy paperbacks. They don't want to pay $26 for a hardcover, so there's big numbers in the paperbacks. I started writing about 9, almost 10 years ago now. I wrote a young adult, or a YA book as we call it in the industry, for my youngest son, Matthew. I took a Hardy Boys book and made it about the same length as that. So it started with YA books, progressed into thrillers, and 15 books later, here I am. As far as what I do on my website to me is a little bit of it's a mix between promotion and fun. And when you get into the blogs are just things that I happen to notice in life and then decide to have a little bit of fun with them. I'm a Canadian that writes really for the American market because it's 10 times the size of Canada. And what Americans will read, Canadians will read as well too, because they find a great deal of interest in what happens in Washington, D.C. and Boston and New York. These are major centers of the world. Plot is certainly an important part of my books as well too. The action starts and it never stops. My books are not boring. The most common thing that I hear back from people are, once I picked it up, I could not put it down. So it's a pure thriller. I'm inspired by things that I see around me all the time, by people, by events, by newsworthy stories. I see my career in writing heading toward the list. That's what we call it in the industry. It's the New York Times bestseller list. I have every intention of getting there, and I don't care how long it takes or what it takes. That's my goal. Shell Game is my 4th novel through Dorchester, publishing out of New York. It's about a con. I thought about someone being taken for a large amount of money and what their response would be to that. He always makes one move that you can't see, and that's what Shell Game is all about. There's a move. There's a few in there, but there's one that I don't think you're going to see.
I was born in Lebanon, where I spent the first 6 years of my life. Then I traveled to Saudi Arabia for a year, made my way to Canada in 1990. I have an Honours Bachelor of Arts as a double major in English and professional writing from University of Toronto. And I now work as a full-time writer for a web marketing company. And I do have my side writing projects ranging from screenplays to poetry to short stories. I started writing when I admitted to myself that I was a loner. That was at a very young age. When other children would be playing outside, I would be inside, either in my room or living room, writing. And that's when I knew that I wanted to make that into my career. First thing I ever learned how to write, my first name in Arabic. So it has a cultural meaning, and I'm a writer, so that kind of meaning too. My dad designed it, actually. It's a collection of short stories, but it is in chronological order, and it reads like a novel. It's nonfiction, though. It's about my dysfunctional relationship with my father and how that affected all the relationships that I had with past boyfriends. I don't think most people can do it. I would love to test those limits and see what I can do in 3 days. I'm excited to see even a slight nervous breakdown. I just want to embrace everything that comes along with the whole experience. So.
I've been writing since I've been able to write, since I've been able to hold a pen, essentially. I was born in Halifax. My parents moved to their dream hobby farm in rural Nova Scotia when I was 5 years old. Then at the age of 14, after a couple of major life events like my mom passing away and our house burning down, we moved to rural Saskatchewan. And that's where I met my ex-husband. I have 4 children. I'm basically on my own with my kids. I live on a small 3-acre wooded piece of property. I make my living as a journalist, freelance journalist, and so I guess my strength there would be magazine writing, creative nonfiction. I'm a Marilyn Monroe tribute artist. It's funny when you're walking down the streets of Calgary dressed as Marilyn Monroe on your way to an act or a birthday telegram. The response you get from people is absolutely amazing, you know, from homeless people sitting on the street and saying, "Hi Marilyn, look, there's Marilyn," to the business people that are normally quite conservative. And just, I guess what I love about it is the fact that you really make people feel special. As a mother of 4 kids and being constantly on the go, I'm used to doing a lot of things at the same time. And when I do my tasks or whatever, I can do them very quickly and very efficiently. Given 72 hours to write, I mean, that, to me, that's a writing holiday. That's not work. Somebody said to me, "Oh, doesn't that scare you to do something like that?" And I said, no, it would be wonderful to be able to focus upon writing for that length of time.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sunday afternoon challenge of the 3-day novel contest. How is everybody? Good? Most of you have noticed you don't have clipboards, so there won't be a writing challenge today. Today is the spelling bee elimination. We're breaking you into 4 teams of 3. The way that your teams will work are the rows that you are in. Right? So take a look at who you're with. By now you've probably been able to see who's hitting spell check and who isn't.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
You will have 15 seconds to spell your word. You can ask for a definition. The 15 seconds won't begin until the definition has already been given to you. If you
hire a 12-year-old kid from New Jersey,
if you can find one, it's yours. If you get the word wrong, you are eliminated. Your team goes down to 2 people. The first team to be eliminated will be our anti-winners. The last person to get the word right will win it, as people are slowly eliminated, will win it for their entire team. Melissa's going to tell us a little bit. Why do we need to know how to spell anymore?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for it. People, I think, are relying too much on spell check and grammar check. Spell check isn't perfect, but the main 2 reasons why I think spelling is really important are, first, knowing a word, knowing the roots of a word, knowing how a word is made unlocks a lot of meaning. The second reason is that I think writers need to read. I think too many writers today don't bother reading. And I think it's a really important aspect of being a writer. It's like an architect who's never been in a house.
Now, the anti-winning team is going to have to serve everybody tonight at the barbecue. You will be our waiters and waitresses, whomever you may be. The winning team, you get to spend an hour somewhere else, somewhere tremendously inspirational, with Timothy Anderson, who was the winner from last year's 3-day novel contest. He can take a look at your manuscript and give you some tips about what it was that took him to the winning spot. Come on down.
I've been good, I don't understand. Okay. Galen, your word is zephyr.
Z-E-P-H-Y-R?
Correct.
Very nice.
Insouciant.
Insouciant? I have a definition?
Lively, indifferent, or carefree.
Insouciant. I-N-S-O-U-C-I-A-N-T.
Correct.
Very nice.
All right, Lorna, your word is gibbous.
Gibbous? G-I-B-O-U-S.
Sorry.
Please step off to the side.
All right, your word is cephalalgia.
C-E-P-H-A-L-A-L-G-I-A.
C-H-A-L-A-G-I-A.
Sorry, you missed a second L in
sorry,
there.
Matthew.
C-H-A-L-A-L-G-I. Tracy, your word is amanuensis.
E-M-E-N. Can you say it again?
Amanuensis.
O-I-N-C-E-S.
Sorry. Prolixity. Supererogatory. Ecclesiastical.
Ecclesiastical.
P-R-O.
Super. S-U-P-E-R.
E-C-C.
L-I-X.
Erogatory. E-R-O-G-A.
L-E-S.
I-T-Y.
T-O-R-Y.
T-I-C-A-L.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Entomology?
Etymology.
Etymology. E-T-T-I-M-O-L-O-G-Y.
Sorry, it's E-T-Y-M-O-L-O-G-Y.
I-M-W-A-L-K-I-N-G-O-F-M.
Jennifer, your word is bibliophile.
B-I-B-L-I-O-P-H-I-L-E.
Correct. Marty, your word is ascetic.
A-S-C-E-T-I-C.
Correct.
Very nice.
Phalanx.
P-H-A-L-L-A-N-X.
Close, but no, sorry. P-H-A-L-A-N-X.
Okay, let's just stop just for a second because I think we figured out who's serving us dinner tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Your word is kaleidoscope.
K-A-L-E-I-D-O-S-C-O-P-E.
Ready? Your word is monozygotic.
M-O-N-O-Z-Y-G-O-T-I-C.
Right. Bureaucratic.
B-U-R-E-A-U-C-R-A-T-I-C.
Correct. Your word is cluricon. Bivouac. Your word is Gnosticism.
C-L-E-R.
N-O-S-T-I-C-I-S-M.
O-A-C.
Sorry, missed one letter. Sorry, you missed the G at the beginning.
3 seconds.
O-C-H-A-U-N.
Sorry, got the last part right. It's C-L-U-R-I-C-H-A-U-N.
Wow.
Okay, Marty, your word is formaldehyde.
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 Formaldehyde. M-I-C.
Your That's correct.
Now, seeing as there are only 3 of you left, why don't you come down to the front here and it will be so much easier.
Okay, Gayleen, your word is sanguine.
S-A-N-G-U-I-N-E.
Correct. James, your word is gemellology.
G-E-M-E-L-L-O-L-O-G-Y.
Nice.
Okay, Nancy, show us your stuff.
Aurora borealis.
A-U-R-O-R-A-B-O-R-E-A-L-I-S.
Yes. Thaumaturgical.
T-H-A-U-M-A-T-U-R-G-I-C-A-L.
Correct.
Woo, the pressure's mounting.
Glossolalia.
G-L-O-S-O-L-A-L-I-A.
Sorry. G-L-O-S-S-O-L-A-L. You're playing to win now. Logorrhea.
L-O-G-G-R-E-R-H-E-A.
Sorry, L-O-G-O-R-R-H-E-A.
All right. Congratulations, Gayleen. Where's the rest of your team?
With all that worry before, I think we had a hustler.
We did not have a hustler. I didn't think I could spell.
Well, not too bad of a surprise, eh? It's pretty good. All right, fantastic job, everybody. We're going to hook you guys up with Timothy. It's going to be pretty great. We'll see you guys at dinner. The losing team. Yeah, I see you there.
I think I was going to say a nap over dinner.
And we'll be back.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the Alberta Ingenuity Iron Science Teacher Competition.
It's a fabulous thing that emerged that allows us to honor the role of science teachers in Alberta and all they do for us, bringing kids into science and kids into careers that can really change the world.
Now at the end of the competition, one of these teams will be proclaimed the 2007 Iron Science Teachers, and they will move on to challenge teachers from across Canada.
We wanted to have a good time. That was the most important thing. We wanted to do it for all you kids out there, because that's what we do every day. So let's start at 3. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Oh!
It was an incredible show. You know, you don't realize how difficult it is to try and take some, fairly deep science ideas and make them not just entertaining, but like fabulously over-the-top entertaining.
All right, Peter Pan, let's get at her. Wowie! I'm bleeding like stuck pig!
Okay, we're all done.
But in all seriousness, good science is the foundation for everything. So that's what we like to see in it. And so far we've seen good cross-disciplinary where all the sciences are represented, and that makes me happy.
Hello, Guardians.
Hello, Harley.
We hope we gave you a good show, and hopefully, as in all things, you learned something new today.
And now the time is finally here to announce the winner of the Alberta Ingenuity Iron Science Teacher Competition.
Science rocks!
The amount of talent in the teams that was on the stage today was pretty astonishing. And so we feel really privileged and really lucky to be here. And having an audience that was so pumped and so excited today just makes this all so much more exciting.